Hi, and welcome to Pat Baer's Anime Club. It's an ongoing video series where Pat Baer, that's me, I take a look at the world of anime and explore it video format wise. I'll look at themes, I'll look at the history of a certain show, maybe I'll talk about the stuff that's happening in the season that I'm really interested in, or the stuff that's disappointing me, whatever. Whatever kind of I want to talk about in the world of anime. And this is my top 10 list of 2021, which is in association with Giant Bomb. In fact, if you go to the show description of this video, you can go and see the written words about these 10 shows that I have put on the website. I started out doing a video game list for them, like just about everybody else that does a list, but last year and of course this year, and by that I mean 2020 and then 2021, I watched way more anime than I played video games. Like, I think I played 10 games this year, but I didn't love all of them. But I did watch so many hours of anime, and I did enjoy 10 of them. And also, I'm going to give an honorable mention right now to Faraway Paladin, which was just this last season of anime. Hmm. Starts off really, really strong. It's a slow-paced like development of what it means to be reincarnated and given a second chance. Uh, High fantasy, lots of cool magic, but by the end of this season, it's it's just another isekai. It starts off special and then just kind of becomes average, and it's a shame because it does have some high highs, but it also has some low lows. So honorable mention for you, Faraway Paladin. But let's get into it. Again, if you go click the link and you can read the text there, I'll have like some in-depth thoughts. These are just like top of my memory thoughts about these shows, but some people like video more than they like reading, and I get that. So let's get into it because I guess maybe you're more into anime than manga. So let's talk about Remake Our Life, which is my number 10. I want you to imagine that you can go back in time and you can fix something that you felt was wrong, like a choice you made that was wrong. And that is the premise of Remake Our Life. We got this guy here all the way on the right, Kyoya. He went into business instead of going to art school, and he regretted it. And he ended up eventually actually working for a video game company, but in the like business side of it, and that went under. And that was like him trying to get back to that dream that he had had. And then he wakes up and he's in the year 2008 in the past, and 10 years in the past, and he has the opportunity to go to school, to go to that, to make that choice again. And it starts off like a wish fulfillment fantasy of, he's an adult in a teenager's body, right? So he's the most responsible person any of these other freshmen at this competitive school have ever seen, right? Like, he's got his shit together. He can produce projects in a way that is very surprising. He has a lot of knowledge about things. He's the most supportive guy any of them ever met. And, the girls he lives with are very talented and they're all interested in him, and he's got like friends and he's creatively fulfilled, and it's this perfect little thing. But that's not what the show is. It's not just wish fulfillment. um it's not all roses. Everything isn't perfect, and there are some twists, which of course I'm not going to get into, but I will say um there's a lot more going on there than just the premise. It doesn't just stop at, and he went back in time, see what happens. There's more going on. And I enjoyed it. I mean, it made my 10. I watched so many anime this year. So to hit the 10 is in itself remarkable. So we'll go on to number 9, which is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2. So this was broken up into two parts. It's part 1 and part 2. And there was a side series in between called the Slime Diaries, which is very cute. Slime Diaries, very, very cute. The cute art style and a focus on silliness, which this series still has, but not throughout the whole time. If you watch the first season, you know that our slime friend Rimuru, who has a human body by the end, or looks like a human body, he's a reincarnation. He's overpowered, but he's also silly, and it's pretty light. Like things happen, but you're not worried about anything. That changes throughout season two. The plot starts happening, and this show transitions from a an action isekai, different world anime, into kind of your standard action one. It was light. He's way more responsible. There are people that like him, but it's not like there's romance going on with him uh, in the show. But then it becomes incredibly violent and action paced, uh, action packed, I should say, not paced, action packed. I'm doing this in one take in case you knew I wasn't going to be heavily editing this. Um, the second half of season two's opening theme is incredible. Um, it sounds like an early 2000s song that would be used for anime music videos. So they just took a song that should be an AMV and made it the theme song, and I think that rules. Um, but yeah, this is a darker thing. This has become a traditional modern overpowered main character style isekai. Um, and I am slightly disappointed in that, but it's also very silly and fun. And I shouldn't blame season two for the mistakes of season one, because not half, like a third of this season takes place before events that closed out the first season because they jumped around with us telling some of the stories. And it suffers a bit for that because you're like, wait, what's where? Because they don't say it, they don't acknowledge it. They just start doing some stuff, and you're like, oh, he hasn't gone to that city to go meet those kids yet. Weird. But anyway, um, if you want to see Rimuru kick a lot of ass, then this season is great for that because he murders people real good. Um, but if you like the silly stuff, like I said, go check out Slime Diaries, which isn't as good, but is more of that. The Saint's magic power is omnipotent. So this is the second of four isekai that I'll be talking about. And if you know me, that's surprising that this list is not more isekai because that's what I watch a lot of these. I like them. But this particular story I love. Um, because it is an isekai, but it's an isekai so that we can get to the romance because this is a romance story that happens to have action and fantasy, and it happens the main character was summoned to a different world. Here's the thing with Sei, our main character. She was summoned along with another girl, and it's believed that the other girl is the saint, and Sei was there by accident. And we know very quickly that's not the case. Sei is the saint. She has incredible healing powers. She has a lot of mana. She can easily make potions that no one's ever encountered before. That healing potions that just work so well. And also there are dudes because it's more important that there are so many hunks. We this photo I messed up over here. I messed up over here because this photo doesn't even have my favorite hunk who is a mercenary that looks like he should be on the cover of a romance novel. We just got a whole lot of hunks that all think that Sei is just great because she is beautiful and smart and otherworldly, and of course, but also talented, and she cares a lot. Her heart is huge, and they all different degrees of just utterly fall in love with her. There's the kind of like the first guy that ever really opens up to her that is like her coworker, her boss, the Ice Knight because of his magic affinity for ice, and also because he is cold, except he's not cold anymore. Then there's the mage, who's like the genius, but maybe he likes her, but maybe he's more interested in her magic and her secrets, but whatever, he probably also does. And it's like, and then, like I said, there's also the mercenary. There's just all these dudes, they're all in to say. It is great. And the show only gets bogged down when it has to deal with the plot, when it has to tell the story, and you're reminded of the other saint candidate and the troubles with the prince and and of course the miasma and the demon monsters that are out there. The whole reason she was summoned there, and it's like, yeah, this is great, but like, what about these hunks, right? Anyway, I loved it. Totally worth your time. Check it out. Number seven, Non Biori Non-Stop. Non Biori is, or was, because we just finished up its third season, a lovely slice of life about girls in a rural Japanese town. Non-Stop refers to the third season because instead of season one, two, and three, it was Biori, Biori Repeat, and Biori Non-Stop. There's also a movie, and I recommend all of it. I slept on this series for a very long time. I enjoy the girls doing stuff subgenre of anime, certainly, but I didn't give this time. And I should have, because it's lovely. And spoilers, they stick the landing. This is the last season, and it does a remarkable job. Um, Basically, like I said, rural town, there's one schoolroom. So all these girls are different ages, but they're all in the same school, along with the girls on the left and right, their brother, who does not speak entire three seasons, does not have a voice actor. He is a silent character. I love that. Anyway, there are other characters that interact with them, but it's mostly about these four. Um, and particularly the girl with purple hair, Renge, is the youngest and most precocious character, and we really see her develop over these three seasons as she ages and grows up. Especially the third season, there's some nice changes with her. Also, as I said, this is the third season. They introduce two new characters, and I don't hate either of them. And I usually hate the introduction of the new character just to mix things up. But in this case, well done. Very funny, very silly show. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's like Azumanga Daioh, but less wacky and more grounded. Still excellent, very fun. Just a good series. And if you watch this, there'll be some animated GIFs out there that you've seen in reaction videos and such that will make more sense because this is a memeable show. And number six, there were also some memes for Tokyo Revengers. Okay, so I talked about how what if you got the chance to go back in time and fix your mistakes? That happens to our main dude Takamichi. He's in the center bottom here with the side shaved hair. Um, he's given the opportunity because he is a loser. He is a dropout, and nothing's going good for him. Everything went wrong in middle school. He had like a middle school gang that thought they were like hot shit, and they quickly realized they weren't, and he ran away from it. He abandoned his friends, he abandoned his childhood girlfriend, and now in his young adulthood, he finds out that she has been murdered from gang activity. And uh, he's then given the opportunity through some sort of magic, uh, not explained, to go back in time and to fix those mistakes. Now, the difference between this and Remake Our Life is in Remake Our Life, we had a capable adult who is now going into school and can appreciate all those things and use it to his advantage. In this case, we have a loser who goes back in time to when he was a loser in middle school. And knowing the events of the future doesn't help it when you're a little shit in a big pond, and you've just got so many ass kicking teens. All of the characters in this photo, you can see again here, sorry, reversing, I forget. All of the characters you see up here are all teens. Yeah, all of them, and they fight like superhero adults, and it's violent and it's sad, and there are a lot of twists to the plot that come out of nowhere, and it's way more complicated than I had imagined when I first saw it. And also, its humor is so weird and random, but great. Uh, Tokyo Revengers, I didn't know it was going to be a double length, so it's a lot of episodes. And I was very surprised. It's not for everyone, but it's really fucking good. So yeah, check out Tokyo Revengers. It is way better than it has any right to be. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Is it's one of the other isekai. It is, and oh boy, it is beautifully cute and fun and so good. This is your slow life. This is your chill. There's some action, but who cares? It's mostly about cute times with cute girls. This is a show about cute girls being cute together. Really, it's the story of uh, an immortal witch. She's there on the left next to the twins in the photo. An immortal witch who she wasn't always an immortal witch. She was just an office worker who died of working too hard, and then she is reborn. She wants to live a slow, easy life, so she becomes granted immortality and youth, and she is just living her life, killing slimes every day for pocket money, so she can afford food because her rents take. She owns the house. She doesn't have to worry about that. But she wants to get some money, so she kills slimes, and 300 years later, she's the strongest person in the world, and she that gets discovered, and people want to challenge her and all this stuff. It ends up easily becoming a weird found family where the slime daughters, the girls there on the left, they are spirits of slimes, uh, and they become her actual daughters. There's an elf who moves in and is kind of an apprentice. There is a dragon girl, and then another dragon girl, and they're both like apprentices. And then there's also on the right there, you can see a teen ghost with a surly attitude who fucking rules. And they're all a family. There's the demon lord is out there doing her thing, and there's one of her assistants who is strong and capable, but thinks the slime daughters are cute. It is there are brief moments where you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? Don't worry about it. It's going to work out. This is just a great, chill, fun time. Um, it's got a lot of like mm, subtext that's not really that subtexty, but it doesn't go full into it. But like, yeah, it's like, look, a lot of these ladies are in love with our girl. Then why wouldn't they be? It's cute. It's fun. Um, it's totally light and breezy. And in 2021, I needed that. So in my top four, it hit five. I thought it would have been higher in my list when I watched it, but there were some excellent anime this year, so it's only at number five, even though it's great. At number four is Horimiya, and this is the one of the only shows that has no fantastical elements on my list. Horimiya is just a show about high school romance and friendship. Our main characters there, look, the premise gets set up early, and then we realize it's not really about like the masks we wear and the secrets we hide, but it really does present itself like it's going to be, oh well, you got this loner who actually like has piercings and tattoos, and then you've got like the perfect girl who is only perfect in school, but at home she's just like a regular girl and takes care of her younger brother and worries about her parents. And yeah, they learn about each other's secrets, but that doesn't. It's not like it takes like the whole season for them to like come to terms. It's just like, oh, okay, that's weird. You got tattoos, huh? Oh, you're actually like you're not, perfect. Oh, okay. Well, I like you, and I guess we're gonna start dating. Cool. We got baggage. Okay, there's friendships. Friends of ours feel differently about it, and oh, there's different crushes and all kinds of stuff and baggage. And look, it doesn't go as deep as it could into the fact that, hey, why did this loner kid pierce himself and get tattoos? What's up? what's going on. And hey, she seems to, at first, her leaning on violence to get her way seems to be for comedic effect. But is this comedic? Like, it gets into it, but it doesn't get deep into it. Mostly it's just honest, kind of truthful, silly, fun, sad at moments, uh, but really good, really solid. That's Horimiya. I recommend it. And then we've got How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. This is, let me look again, yes, the final isekai on our list. Um, Realist Hero, and I couldn't get a great uh, like widescreen image for this for some reason, so we'll deal with that. Okay, so the title, because this is based on a light novel, and there's a manga adaptation as well. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom basically tells you what you need to know. Our dude got summoned, and he's just like a college student that was gonna go into civil service, uh, and now he is the king. The world has demons, but they're not really worried about that here. They're mostly worried about the fact that the country is in debt, and also there's issues with a neighboring country. And this dude is just like, okay, well, here's the things I would do. And they're like, okay, great, you're king now. Of course, that leads to some internal conflicts within the country. He's got a lot on his plate. Is it an overpowered main character? No. It's mostly just his knowledge. He does have some powers, but they're not like comparatively incredible. Is it a harem show? Yeah, I mean, he gets engaged to the princess, and then there's a bunch of ladies around him that also fall for him, and it's done kind of naturally. Like there's a lot of flirting going on, and it's not like, ugh, I hate to say it's not as bad as other shows that have this, but it isn't. One of the things about how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom that I enjoy is that it's not afraid to be honest about um, what it means to be a king and what it means for this person to like go through these things and use propaganda to get it once he wants and pit people against each other. And he's solving the food shortage in creative ways. But he's also using this broadcast technology or magic that's basically television, but magic, like I said, to win the hearts and minds of a nation that they're fighting with. Like, but he also talks about that. He knows, oh, I'm doing this thing. I know this will make me the bad guy. Okay, well, this is a play that we're going to go and use. And he's a student of history, and he takes advantage of his knowledge. This part two is coming out in 2022, very soon. I believe this season now, the winter 2002 season. I'm excited for that. Um, I could have waited till that came out, but I just think it's such a strong show that it ended up on my list here. Even it also, you could just watch this season and not know there was more coming, and it ends like in a good place, a good spot. So I recommend it. It's a little different than your typical isekai, but very very strong. And also strong. I'm very good at transitions. Is Super Cub, Super Cub, which could have been in another year my number one. Isn't is not my number one, as you can see, but it easily could have been because it does check a lot of the boxes of things I really love. The girls doing stuff thing. That is a subgenre I enjoy. Is just like, hey, here's some ladies, and here's a thing they're really into. Enjoy. This one's a little bit different than your typical one of those because our main girl, who's on the right there, um, she is just a sad, alone person that doesn't really have anything. She doesn't have any family. She doesn't have any friends. She's government assistance. So she doesn't really have any savings. She bikes to school, but the hill getting to the school makes it really tough for her to do. And one day she buys an old used Super Cub, which is like a low end motorcycle or a souped up scooter, depending. And she is just like, oh shit, this changed my life. And we watch this girl have something. Koguma can go to the grocery store like after school because it won't take forever. 'Cause she won't have to worry about like a bus or walking, so she can get stuff that she needs. She can just drive around a little bit. Oh, I forgot something. Oh, it doesn't matter. Uh, and as her life changes, slowly, surely, the music changes too, which I love. It goes from just being like kind of muted piano to more lively, jazzy instruments, and it kind of opens up. And she meets another girl that's obsessed with Cubs, and a friendship, a shared, a shared interest leads to friendship. And there's another girl who's in the middle there that they end up helping out. Their Cubs come to the rescue, and she is enamored by them because they seem capable. And Koguma is capable. She's dependable. Um, and she can do stuff that she couldn't do before. It feels very honest. And this would be my number one, except the part where it doesn't feel honest, because by the end of the show, and I'm not going to spoil anything, um, a series of events take place that feel very unrealistic in this otherwise pretty realistic show. There's just a chain of stuff that feels like kind of fantastical in a way that I like, but I don't love, and it was disappointing. Um, but the heart of the show is fantastic. Totally worth your time. Super Cub. Yeah, it's great. And you know what's also great as I seamlessly transition into my number one, Laid Back Camp Season 2. You knew it was going to be Laid Back Camp Season 2. The first season's one of my all-time favorite shows. The second season is strong as hell, and I love it so much. If you don't know anything about Laid Back Camp, it is a series about girls that camp. Um, Sometimes it's solo camping, sometimes it's group camping, sometimes it's traveling by car for a long distance and seeing the sights like it is towards the end here. The first season built up to winter camping of all of the girls together and spending time at Christmas camping. This one is, oh, we're going to drive here and then we're going to see all these sights. And also, it's some people's birthdays. It doesn't matter what. This show delves a little bit into um, like, oh, we fucked up at this camping trip. Oh no, like we do get into that a bit. Uh, we also have the little sister. You can see in the photo there, baby. Oh, it's a small photo. Probably can't see it. It's okay. We got some energy. We brought in a character that had been, you know, lightly in season one is now like hanging out with her big sis with all these camping girls. It's a little bit more disjointed in the first season because that's what happens when you base a anime on a manga is they're not always writing this with a 12 or 13 episode season in mind. So it is like, okay, in the beginning here we're going to talk about the past, Nadesco's past, and then we're going to get into what they're doing through the year, and then eventually we're like, oh, okay, now we're building towards this big camping outing. But it's got um, an outdoor mascot character very briefly. We see some of Nesco's past. There's some lovely moments with Rin's family. Also, I won't say what it is, but there is a reference to a classic 90s anime that I did not expect to see in this show, and it rules. And it almost is enough to put this in the top spot by itself. But also, this show just put a smile on my face. I talked about, like I've been killing slimes being like and Nanan Biori just being comfort anime. Laid Back Camp is so good. Not every slice of life is chill. This one is a chill anime. Uh, you can watch Laid Back Camp season 1 and 2, and then also there's Hey at Camp, which is the like cute chibi, like not chibi, but they're short episodes and they're like a side series that came out in between the two seasons. That's just really cute. Tells one little story with some of the characters. There's an OVA where Rin borrows a bike, like borrows like a three-wheel scooter that is paid for by the company that makes that scooter, but it's still a good episode. you know, Laidback Camp season 2, top of my recommendations. And that is my top 10 of 2021. And this has been Pat Bear's Anime Club. Again, in the show description below, you can find a link to my Giant Bomb list. So if you want to read the list instead of watching this video, or in addition to, I guess not instead, because you watched the whole video. So in addition to, also in the comments below, what's your favorite show of the year? Are you upset that I did not include like 2 Year Eternity or Odd Taxi, two shows that I just didn't watch, that I'm sure are great, and I didn't watch them for different reasons. Is Vampire Dies in No Time your favorite show? Like let me know. Let me know in the comments below if you would have said that you would have ranked, like, oh, Horimiya I liked, but I didn't love it that much, Pat. Like, let me know. I would love to hear from you about what favorite shows you had. If you thought that, like, I just goofed, I totally messed this one up, I'll hear from it. Or if you got ideas for future videos, I like hearing that too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next Bear's Anime Club. Goodbye.